Welcome to tonight's gathering entitled Your Path, Your Purpose, Navigating the Possibilities to Unleashing Your Passion. My name is Nancy Dessables, and I am so happy to be number one co-facilitating this evening's gathering with my wonderful partner. And I'm just going to pause so she can greet you as well. Reverend LeVaughn, would you like to say hello?
I'm just going to say hello. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, we're so happy to be able to offer you something that we trust will be very meaningful for you, which is the opportunity to just reignite your divine purpose and to rediscover your gifts and to connect with what it is that lives within you, what it is that compels you to offer something of yourself to the earth, right? That's big. So we're here for a great ride. This year, no surprise to anybody, has been quite an interesting 18 months. But I think what year has done is it's presented numerous opportunities for individuals to reevaluate their lives and their priorities and their purpose. And we certainly hope tonight will be an intentional pause for you to do just that. And speaking of pause, I'm going to just, by the way, we want to we have Lynn Liston, who is helping us with our tech. So thank you, Lynn. Is it possible to just pause very briefly for a gap, just so that we can all be on gallery view, so that we can see each other's faces? I just want to pause and just kind of acknowledge, yeah, thank you. That feels so nice. Just all the beautiful people that are on. So just kind of look at each other, take each other in, because we're really going to go on a soul journey. So let's just look at each other's souls. So thank you, and it's just wonderful. So this is an invitation. We'd like to offer you an invitation, and I'm going to now ask Lynn to just flip back to our first PowerPoint slide. There's some, I call them PowerPoint antics. And we're going to go to slide 2. And so here's the invitation. The invitation is to, for all of us collectively, to ignite your passion and rediscover your divine life purpose so that you can contribute your unique gifts and talents to the continuous evolution of the world and all its inhabitants. In this gathering, we offer the opportunity to do a few things: explore possibilities, listen deeply to your soul, reignite your life purpose, and to design a simple plan of action. So that's what we propose. We are so, again, excited to do this journey with you. And now I will pass it over to Reverend LeVaughn, who will frame our evening deeper.
All right, thank you, Nancy. So before we begin, I just would like to invite everyone to set an intention for the evening. You probably came in with something in mind that you would like to capture from this experience. So I just want to give you space to sow that as an intention before we proceed. All right. So I'm just going to start getting right into it then. Of course, what is purpose, right? There are several viewpoints and ways to define that. So I just wanted to explore a few of them before we really dig deep into our evening. Here's a quote from psychologist William Damon. Purpose is a stable and generalized intention to accomplish something that is at once meaningful to the self and of consequence to the world beyond the self. Okay, I like that. And I also, of course, had to explore our old faithful dictionary in looking for a definition, to which I found the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. And that's probably a more standard way of viewing our purposes. And Finally, by a well-known coach, Richard Leiter, purpose is the conscious choice of what, where, and how to make a positive contribution to our world. It is the theme, quality, or passion we choose to center our lives around. And so I would, of course, like to acknowledge these definitions and the fact that you probably have your own unique take on what a purpose is. And if you'd like to share inside the chat, you can actually share that in the room for a brief moment. Okay. So I'm going to get right into the definition of purpose that we're speaking of today, tapping into your divine life purpose. And Lynn, if you could bring up that slide. All right. So for purposes of this evening, we're referring to an unconscious purpose other than something that is consciously chosen, right? And so what we're looking to answer is, of course, what is the point of me? What's the bottom line of my existence, right? So I want to dig a little deeper in that. There is some philosophy, Eastern philosophy, around the divine and spirit as it relates to our purpose. And the philosophy, which some adhere to and some don't, is that the divine wants to experience itself through each and every one of us, right? It's also stated that we were aware as spirits before we came to earth, before we took a body, what we were coming here to do. And we actually consciously chose families and various experiences to live through so that we can both live an expressed and experienced life, evolve ourselves, the planet, and for God to also, again, experience life through us. But when we got here, we forgot. You know, that was basically part of the game of life, is forgetting why you're here and what you're here to do. And then, of course, who you are, right? So, you know, henceforth, finding a purpose is of course a big topic, and it's extremely fulfilling in that vein. So I just want to acknowledge that along the pathway of finding one's purpose, we do tend to search for it on the outside, right? Versus really tapping into it and reigniting what's already known about the self deep down inside. And so as you walk the path ahead, you're going to explore your inner and unconscious wisdoms around your own unique divine purpose. You're going to explore the intangible that seeks to be expressed as the tangible outside of you versus the other way around. And so you're now invited to connect with the sacred purpose you've carried into this world. All right, Rev Nancy.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We're doing a lot of talking at you, but you know, we really want to open up the space, and there'll be room for, you know, we want to hear your voices as well. So the title of this gathering is Your Path, Your Purpose, which suggests that there's a pathway to re-engaging our purpose, which may have been for various reasons forgotten, brushed aside, maybe it's dormant. But one way of thinking about purpose is to, and this pathway that we're going to experience shortly, is to really think of it as having these 5 elements. And so I know there's another PowerPoint slide that goes with that. We call that the 5 Ps. So I'm just going to go through this with you shortly. So to begin with, there are infinite possibilities. I mean, let's just start with that, right? There are infinite ways that you can share you in this journey called life. There are also infinite needs that are asking to be addressed and asking to be attended in the world. And the path that you're going to experience tonight, we're going to sort of bring you down a little journey. We'll offer you a few possibilities, but obviously there are countless possibilities and there are countless ways that we can each contribute to the world. So as you are, actually, wait, before I even move ahead, let's just go through these five points here. So we have possibilities, pull, passion, principles, and plan. Okay, so we pretty much spoke about these countless possibilities. Let's talk a little bit about the pull, though. As you are exploring possibilities, one or more invariably will pull you in, and we call that the pull. Something will naturally attract you. There will be a strong desire to explore or engage in some particular area that captivates your interest. And I'm sure you've all experienced that numerous times in your life, that there's just an area that you always go back to. There's a pull. And it's often felt typically somewhere in your body. And it doesn't have to be a pull. It can be a tickle. It can be a bubble. It can be a flicker, a flutter, music, sound, color, some other sensation. There's something in your body that's moving you towards something. And we call that the pull. And along with the pull comes the passion. So it's likely that what pulls us in also ignites our passion, right? So typically we feel excited, we feel joyful, enthusiastic, naturally just turned on about whatever it is that, about that possibility. And I might say that, it's usually when we think of passion, we think of joyful feelings, but there could even be another emotion that's part of the pull, right? Something else is just pulling you towards something. And if you look at the slide, you'll actually see that I have pull and passion. And then there's the arrows pointing towards compassion, because I like to, it's kind of a play on words, right? So I am compelled, that's the COM, to move towards my passion. So that's kind of a neat way of looking at it. And then finally, we have principles, right? So the fourth P is principles. And principles are our beliefs that guide our actions. Our principles help us to take a stand. They help us to evaluate a opportunity or situation. So the path that we're going to kind of journey together. Also, we'll ask you to consider, what are your deepest principles? What are you willing to take a stand for? And these days, when I think of that, I also think of, what am I willing to take a knee for? So there we have principles. And finally, we have a plan, which is, for tonight's purposes, is really going to be an opportunity for you to really declare what already lives within you and just breathe life into it. And the declaration is, how do you see your purpose today? And how do you see yourself manifesting it in the world today? So you have those 5 points again: possibilities, pull, passion, and principles and plan. And in a minute, you're going to go through a journey that's going to be able to sort of help you connect with each of these components, as well as other aspects. So I'm just going to pause and just see how that feels for everybody, if anybody wants to comment. And then we will kind of start the process. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, all right, we're ready. Okay.
Hi, this is Dominique. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. I literally just joined maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Sounds like we're going into a breakout room and we're going to cover these 5 principles.
We may not necessarily be doing a breakout room, but you're going to have the opportunity to do, in a second, a meditative process where we'll kind of look at not only these principles, but other elements as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and thank you. Great to hear from you.
You too.
Can you read the first purpose again?
Okay, what's the question?
Can you read the first purpose again?
When you say, can I read the first purpose, you mean, what are those 5 points?
Yeah, I'm just repeating what's in it. Maybe we should ask Margaret.
Yeah, no, I just wanted, you read 3 different ways of defining purpose, and the first one struck me, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. So Reverend LeVaughn, I know you were reading the different variations of purpose. Do you want to go back and touch base on that?
Oh, that's what you wanted. Sorry about that. Yeah, so just a second. Yeah, the first was define, I'm sorry. It was a stable and generalized intention. Actually, let me just post this in the chat for you while I do that.
Is that all good? So, okay, we are going to, unless someone else wants to speak into the room, we are going to move forward, and I'm going to pass the baton over to Reverend LeVaughn.
Okay. All right, so it's discovery time, everyone. I'm going to ask everyone to get really centered in your space, get really cozy and comfortable. Nestle your rear end on your seat. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Release any thoughts that are twiddling through your mind right now. Just invite the present moment. Okay, so let's take a collective, deep, nourishing breath in. Hold. Now release. And again, a deep breath. Hold and release all, squeezing all the air out your belly. And now I'm going to begin to count to 5. And with each number, take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into an even deeper state of relaxation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're now very relaxed and invited to journey into your heart. Now in front of you, there is a huge natural wood door covered with vines. Stand in front of it. At the foot of this door, you are to release all of your inhibitions. Just shake it off. Suspend any discomfort, concerns, and drop the weight of your earthly labels at the door. Just send them on vacation for a bit. See and feel yourself discarding these labels one by one. Sister, brother, friend, whatever it is that's weighing you down. Shake it off. Are you complete? You've now been fitted with a cape. Please assign it whatever powers may serve you on your journey ahead. Now open the door. What do you see surrounding you? Amidst all that you see, a path now appears ahead of you. Begin your walk down the path. Keep walking. Along the way, you see various rocks and crystals of different sizes, shapes, and colors. Pick one. What does it look like? How does it feel? As you twirl it around, you see that it's labeled with a value or principle. What does it say? What principle do you see, hear, or even feel? Say thank you for whatever you received. Now remember that value, the principle, or the feeling that your rock or crystal represents, and place it in your bag. Continue walking down the path, remaining present to all that is around you, taking in the landscape. As you continue your walk, you see that there are two entryways, one to the left and the other to the right of you. On your left, you see hundreds of roses. The smell of them suddenly hits you as a cool, gentle breeze caresses your face. And as you turn your face to the right, you hear your name being called, sweetly and lovingly. Choose your entryway, left or right, and walk through it. Take a bit to explore the space that you've now entered. What are you experiencing? Now, have a seat right where you are. There is a treasure box in front of you. Open it. There are 8 portals of purpose inside. Visualize each one as I state them and touch them with your hands if you like. There's a pyramid of the mind, which represents knowledge, truth, and clarity. An hourglass of the body, representing fitness and health. Continue digging in. Here are some designer eyeglasses of beauty, representing creative expressions and the arts. Next is the heart of love, representing love and compassion. Twirl around and grab a hold of the scale of justice, which represents morality and community. Next is a floating ball of light, representing spirituality. Now grab a hold of the Ferris wheel of entertainment. It represents fun and exploration. And finally, a mini globe, which represents the earth. Tune into your heart. Has one chosen you? You may feel excitement, a strong pull towards it. You may have seen a name flash or an image, or even hear its name repeated to you. Which portal is it? The mind, body, beauty, love, justice, spirit, entertainment, or the earth? Trust your first answer. And say thank you for any answer received. Now, whichever one that chose you, take that portal out of your box and grab your stone or crystal out of your bag. Remembering the value, principle, or feeling it represents, you now have two gifts. Hold them both in your hands. You may also place them near your heart. Take in their energies. Let them speak. Now ask Spirit, your guides or angels, whomever is a measure of safety for you. How shall I share you with the world? Please take the time now to honor what you've experienced and whatever you've been gifted in your own special way. Wonderful. Now embodying the feeling of gratitude. Gently turn around. There is that huge natural wooden door covered in vines that you first began your journey through. Take your time. When you are ready, exit the door. At the count of 5, you will slowly return back into the awareness of your body. Your mission is now accomplished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wriggle your toes. Feel into your body. And gently open your eyes now. Welcome back into the space.
Welcome back. Oh my God, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. So at this moment, we would like to invite the opportunity for you to do some journaling. Hopefully you have a journal or some paper handy. If not, feel free to go find some. And we just want to give you an opportunity to just sit quietly and just journal whatever comes to mind. We do have 4 questions that we'd like to perhaps invite for your consideration. Which portal felt most alive for you and why? And I will say at this point that we presented 8, but there are countless. So maybe it was something else that really rang true for you. Maybe it was a whole different thing that came up for you. What did you experience in your body? What gifts did the stones and crystals and portals reveal to you? And what does your soul want you to remember? So I'm going to set a timer off, and if we can just allow for 5 minutes, and then we will open it up for larger discussions. We have like another 30 seconds or so, and we're going to just wrap up. I'm just giving you a little warning, heads up. Did anybody hear what I just said? I think I was on mute. I just think I said we have another like 20 seconds so you could start to, yeah. Okay. Wherever you are, uh, we're going to just invite larger group. We want to finally hear from you. And just as a memory check, and you don't necessarily have to answer even these questions. It's really where does your heart want to go to? But it was, again, what portals felt the most alive for you and why? What did you experience in your body? What gifts did the stones or crystals reveal to you? And what does your soul want you to remember? So let's hear from, yeah, you. And you can raise your electronic hand and we will acknowledge you and invite you into the room.
Do we have a shy bunch here?
We do, but we have a lot of time, so we're good. Oh, okay. I see Susie, and so Susie, yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. I have found that very enriching, and I'm about to graduate next week. So I thought I had thought this through, but it was different. And I just want to focus on the last thing. What does my soul want me to remember?
Mm-hmm.
I did visualize a person coming to meet me, and I realized I don't have to do this alone. What's my purpose that I've been focusing on so hard with my vows, my ordination, expressing all of this individually, and the realization that I won't be asked to do this alone. So that was very precious. Thank you.
That is beautiful. And I was wondering if anyone took the journey with you. We have ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, so you brought up the notion of we're not alone in this journey. Thank you, Susie. Thank you. I see Omina.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So this was very powerful, and I really enjoyed this exercise very much. So the portal that felt most alive for me was the mind and the spirit globe, but more so the mind. That was the first one, and then spirit came.
Mm-hmm.
And I initially experienced feelings of like divine freedom. When she told us to open the door and, to put the cape on and to give it its superpowers, once I opened the door, I literally saw like just brightness in the sky, and I was like flying until she said to walk, there's a path, and walk on the path. And so I thought that was really interesting that I was already flying. And then I allowed myself to land on the ground. And when I began walking, I just saw such beautiful tall trees and flowers, and grass was everywhere. And the crystal that I chose was the tiger's eye. And it said that I now have the ability to see things clearly, and I am always protected, that all things will be revealed to me starting now with ease and grace, and I will know what to do and how to do it, what steps to take to actualize and maintain the light that exists within me. But then I hesitated at the path, at the crossroads. And this is interesting because I had this spiritual reading, and it was saying that I sometimes don't follow the directions. So I hesitated for a bit at the crossroads because before she even started mentioning the roses, I was already going to the left because in my mind and when I study spiritually, I'm like, spirit is always to the left. So I began walking to the left because in my vision, I saw these beautiful flowers before she even mentioned that they were roses. And so then when she mentioned the voice, the sweet voice calling, I started to like go back and I was like, oh, but it's a sweet voice. And so in my mind, I started to overanalyze. I felt the ego coming in, like my mind was racing. It was just like, well, if you go to the right, you know, yeah, we know it's of the world, but there's a sweet voice that's calling and it's calling your name. So maybe this is a trick question or something. So maybe you should not do that. Maybe you should just kind of go the way that you were going. And then I started seeing darkness, like not in a bad way, but just like started getting dark because I was stuck, which often happens in life for me when I'm not able to make a decision because I'm too analytical. So I actually ended up going towards the right to the voice, but I kept thinking about the roses and the flowers to the left. So as she was talking about the different portals, I was sort of like present, not present, because in my mind I was like, gosh, you should have just stayed to the left with the roses. But I'm like, no, but now I'm over here. And I started seeing these baby breaths, which was very interesting. And I have a dressed sage on my my altar, which has like lavender and these other like pretty white flowers. And so that actually flashed to the right. And that was what made me stay present. And I remembered, like, you've got to follow the directions, like just be present right now. And I brought myself back to because I was in the vision, like, you know, doing this whole thing, but I brought myself back to present time of what she was directing us to do. And so that's when I kind of heard her say the portals. And I remember specifically the mind, the pyramid, the one with the pyramid, the globe, the entertainment one, and then the earth. But what really stuck with me.
Omina, yes,
Yes.
I want you to finish that sentence because that would be a terrible place to interrupt you. So what stuck with me? I want you to finish that, but then we have to be mindful of time. And there's so many amazing things that you said. I just want to let that land. So please finish that.
But that was pretty much it. What stuck with me on the portals was just the mind and the spirit thing. And so that's where I just pretty much stayed. Yeah.
Thank you for that powerful sharing. And if we had the benefit of a little more time, it would be lovely to hear. But obviously you took a journey. You took a journey. Yeah. Thank you for the share. Yeah. I think, do we have time for one more? And just be mindful of keeping it to, you know, a minute-ish. So Margaret, I see Margaret. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, that was a very beautiful journey. So anyway, when I first went through the door, it was a very dark, and I saw my mother and my sister who have all passed away. So I was with people who had passed, but it was a good thing because I'm like explore. I just did the end of life doula training, and I've been wanting to work with dying and all. So that was really good. Then I went to wherever the voice called me, and the crystal I saw was a quartz crystal, and the message was clarity and just clearness and honesty. And then the portal, I thought you said only pick one, which was very hard, but the one was the hourglass body, and I didn't want that one. However, I took it. And I am a body worker and a chiropractor and I do body mind work. And I realized, because I have so many interests, but as I was writing in my journal, I've been so much into holistic healing forever. And it encompasses everything. It encompasses spirit and emotions and heart and the earth. And so I felt like the connection was be clear with yourself. You know, don't like say it's not good or whatever, and just keep doing it and do it with that realization, it's okay because it is holistic to me. And I go to all these places with movement. And anyway, so it was great. It reinforced what I've been doing. It made me value it more. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I just want to sort of echo a few things I heard. Um, I'm sorry, the first, actually, the lady that spoke prior to Margaret, Omega, I'm getting the name wrong, and I apologize. But, one of the things that I thought about in your sharing was you mentioned your perspective. You mentioned also coming to a crossroads. Um, a lot of you discussed taking the journey with somebody and seeing all kinds of things pop up along the way. So I think what was left with for me in listening to your sharing is that when we are kind of tapping into purpose, spirit gives us hints, right? There are things, whether it's symbols or colors, or the universe will tell us. We just have to, I think, learn to listen in a different way, but it's all there, right? So I'm just going to ask Rev LeVaughn if she would like to anchor in any way, and then we are going to transition.
Yeah. Yeah, what came to me is that this is definitely a different process,
Mhm.
going deep and then allowing something to come to you versus looking for it. So, I think that's another space of reflection in your own time, as to how that distinction was for you and what lessons you can extract from it. But thank you for such rich, rich sharing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely. So I just want to let you know, in case you're wondering, I was told that it's okay, but I want to honor and respect your time. I was told that it's okay if we go a little over an hour. So we are going to toggle into a little bit more over an hour, and I hope that's okay with everybody, because we certainly don't want to rush the process. But we are moving towards the final element, and we'd like to sort of work a little bit on this notion of planning. So by planning, I don't mean an extensive um, left brain kind of plan, right? But for our purposes, it's really about having the opportunity to actually articulate and to frame um, a, a purpose statement, a divine purpose statement. So that's what we're going to actually have the opportunity to do. And in so much as we can spend a little bit more time, we would like us to be witnessed, those that are interested, to share that and to put that into the room. This is also an opportunity to become aware of how our divine purpose shows its face in our everyday lives, and how we can even express that more fully. So there is a slide that I want to kind of hit. So Lynn, if you would mind, it's the Marcia Bench slide. And Marcia Bench is a career counselor and a spiritual life coach. I've been personally following her, and I love her work. And now she's very much into the spiritual realm. And she posits that an effective purpose statement has both an essence and a expression. And the essence remains relatively unchanged throughout life, and the expression changes all the time, depending on your circumstances. So just to give you sort of my take on it, the essence, I call the essence is your sparkle. I mean, it's what you are divinely coded to do. It's your hopes, your dreams, your talents, your gifts, and your attributes. And one might even say it's also your shadows, your wounds, and your limitations. It's the whole package that makes you the only you that's ever going to walk this planet. And I don't know, Janet Connor, who I think Rev LeVaughn mentioned earlier, also she writes a lot of great books on this. She also kind of defines soul and essence in very much the same way. And of course, your expression is how. So the essence is the what, the expression is the how. Expression is how you contribute your gifts, what's exciting you now, what's getting your attention right now. And so let's look at some examples of divine purpose. And for this, we do have a slide, but you have a handout that actually says examples. And I'd love if we can pull that up. If you actually, Lynn is going to do a screen share so we can all see it, or you can refer to the handout. So Lynn, can we pull up that handout so everyone can see it? So this is basically just going, oh, thank you, I appreciate that. This is going through some examples. And just to give you context, we have Joy here. So I'll read about Joy. So Joy is a retired teacher and a solo entrepreneur who has a small business where she provides home-based schooling and educational services to young children whose parents have needed assistance throughout the pandemic. She works in the home, allowing parents to focus on their jobs. She has always felt a strong desire to assist women to achieve greater work-life balance. So her purpose statement reads this, and of course the red is the essence and the expression is the blue. To help working mothers achieve the balance they desire through the provision of affordable home-based schooling and educational services. So if you scroll down a little, there are just some additional one. So here's just some additional purpose statements to reduce world hunger and food insecurity by working with local community college food pantries to provide resources, information, and support. To eliminate violence and promote world peace by delivering effective group processes that model nonviolent communication and respect. To eradicate homelessness by engaging in federal, state, and local lobbying efforts that seek to address systematic inequities in the housing and real estate market. Those are just examples of sort of using Marcia Bench's model of sort of how you might want to frame a purpose statement that has both this notion of essence, which is the sparkle, the thing that really stays with you from cradle to grave, and then how you're currently expressing that, which could take many, many forms. When you look at the statement, you'll notice it's pretty short, it's pretty concise. I think of like the vows I took when I graduated from seminary. I remembered Rev Dye saying, keep them short, it's almost like an affirmation, right? In essence, that's really what it is. Now, Marcia Bench, I just want to mention Marcia Bench, her background is career coaching and she's really good at that. And so obviously when people think of purpose, they often think of careers, but we know that your purpose is way bigger than any job or career, right? Your purpose can be, how you manifest that is, yes, it could be through a job, but it could be through a role that you have. It could be through service that you're providing. It could be through a talent that you have. So there are a myriad ways, and I want to give you a very colorful example. This weekend, I had the opportunity to visit my aunt, who's in her 80s, who has Alzheimer's disease, and it's pretty clear that that is progressing. But she, luckily, she was able to remember who I was, and that was nice. And she's in an eco village down in Charlottesville. Long story short, ever since I was a kid, I remembered her laughing and wanting to bring joy into people's lives. And I saw her this weekend and she was laughing and happy. And there were a lot of young people. And it occurred to me that, wow, Aunt Monique's purpose has always been that. Even in this state, the purpose is still clear. So I want to kind of offer that to you. And, let me pause and see if anybody has any thoughts about that. And then you're going to have an opportunity now to actually write up your own purpose statement. You have now a second handout that we'd like to present to you. And again, I think it's going to be just easier if we can do the screen share. And that's called Your Purpose Brief Plan. Okay, so your path, your purpose, brief plan, if you can open that up. And then Lynn, if we can do another screen share of that. Yeah, so here's the brief plan. And you have this in a handout, but being conscious of not killing trees, you can just transpose this onto your journal. So what we're inviting you now is to actually write up your own purpose statement and just take a stab at that without, seeing what moves you right now in this moment. So the directions are take a moment to sit quietly and listen to the deepest stirrings of your soul. And when you are ready, use the space below to write a purpose statement for what you envision in your life currently. So, with an essence, with a what, and with a how. And then there are two follow up reflective questions. Um, what is your what? What is your how? And then the first one is, are you currently practicing your divine soul purpose in the world? If so, how? Um, that's a deeper how than the first one, in case you're wondering. So just to give you a quick example, I wrote up one for myself. Okay, I'm going to run through this quickly as a model. So I had to really do some deep thinking about this, right? And I realized my purpose is to inspire others to create for themselves optimal professional, physical, and spiritual wellness through transformative coaching, counseling, and programmatic leadership. Am I currently using this? Yes. So I would say to you that even though it's a yes, no question, the answer is likely to be yes, because even if it's not on the level that you would like to, something of your purpose is probably oozing out of you. So I do a lot of stuff in a college internship program. I'm not going to go into details. So that's the formal part of it. But even informally, I'm the one that people come to for help with resumes and things of that nature. So even informally, I'm always living, breathing my practice. I mean, my purpose. And the second piece is, if you find yourself not practicing your divine life purpose or not practicing it in the way you would like to, what is one small step that you can take to begin to manifest your life purpose in the world? And I want to just bring to you the words of Mother Teresa, who says, we cannot do great things. We can only do small things with great love. So when we talk of purpose, this is not like, woo, I have to do this big, huge thing here. No, it's just what's one small step that you can move into to kind of breathe life into your purpose. So if you're all set with that, we'd like to pause and give you time to just do this worksheet. And I'm going to say, I'm going to do 3 minutes, but if that's not enough, you'll let me know. So I'm going to put the timer for 3 minutes. If you want to just, again, a purpose statement and just those two reflective questions. If you could just take 3 minutes, I'll start the time, and we'd love to hear from a few of you afterwards. Yeah, thank you for leaving that up. And let me get the timer going. Okay, that's our 3-minute mark. If you feel like that's pretty much enough, hold on, there was a request in the chat. But as I'm hunting for it, if you feel like that's enough time, we can open back up. But let me check the chat. Leslie, did you have a request? Is there something you need to tell us? Okay.
Leslie asked for Marcia Bench's article or book and to put the title into the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, in a few seconds I will get it. There will be a time when you will be doing something when I can go and get the title of the book. Absolutely. Thank you for that good question. All right, so let's open it up. And I think the overarching question is, this is an opportunity now to share your purpose. We'd love to hear, what is your purpose? And how are you manifesting it in the world today? Okay. So we're going to, whoever would like to share, just do the electronic hand, we'll acknowledge you. And as people are sharing, just really hold the space and send them love. They are sharing a most precious part of their soul with you. So what's your purpose? Whoever would like to share. How do you see that? Okay, Debbie, I see Debbie.
Hi, thank you both so much. I'm filled with gratitude. So I will just read briefly what I wrote. My purpose: to speak out and act within a loving, compassionate, sacred community against injustice, discrimination, racism, hatred, violence. And the question is, am I currently doing that? And I answered yes, I am actually doing that. I've been involved with One Spirit in Action now for, Lynn, what, going on 7 years now? Is that? I think it's over 7 years. So I'm very grateful and honored to be part of One Spirit in Action. I'm putting in a plug for One Spirit in Action. Our main focus right now is on mass incarceration. And again, I'm just so honored to be part of One Spirit, the One Spirit community, and One Spirit in Action. So thank you so much, LeVaughn, Nancy. Oh my God, I love you guys. Thank you.
So my purpose is to cause a miraculous transformation in a motherhood journey through talk therapy workshops, self-care, and holistic wellness. The next question was, yes, I am practicing my divine purpose in the world. Personally, I myself practice daily holistic wellness lifestyle habits. I call them bliss pauses, where I just stop to enhance my mental health wellness through self-care like things that I do. And I'm also manifesting my purpose through a monthly holistic self-care Sunday reprieve that's curated, as well as a Telegram chat that's connected to that holistic self-care Sunday that I do once a month for women and mothers.
Thank you, Omena. Okay, God bless.
This was so amazing. My purpose is to remember that everything is in divine, perfect order by compassionately companioning those whose heart unites with mine. And that is just my life. That's the way that I'm living my life.
Ooh, that sounds like one of those things that's a collective purpose, right?
Yes.
For many of us, like a collective purpose.
Yes.
All right, we just want to
Wonderful,
thank you. And sort of, yeah, thank you so much. And I wish the gathering was like 2 hours, but it's not. And again, we want to be respectful. So we want to come to closure in 2 ways. Planning is a lifelong process, right? And we use the word planning, but really people think, well, I have to choose a plan. We like to think, no, the plan really chooses you. And so what we do want to leave you with is sort of some additional reflective questions to think about as you're working on this ever evolving plan. And it's really not work, right? It's just part of the process of growing and evolving. So can you just, Lynn, can you put up those final questions, which you have again in a handout? I just want to breathe life into them. And maybe Reverend LeVaughn, can you voice them for us, those questions? Put your voice into the room and just read them out. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, but I don't have the file open.
I think Reverend is going to actually just open it so we can all see those questions. These are powerful questions. So here we go. And you have this file.
Yeah, so what is your soul's work? What are you most excited about in your life right now? What naturally inspires you? Unfortunately, we didn't really have the time to help you flush these out. What feeds your soul? But, this is, these are questions to help you explore a little deeper.
Yeah, I love these questions. What things would you like to do in your life that you have not gotten to do yet? If fear were not a factor, what would you be doing right now? I love the deathbed questions. Even, yeah, what would you regret not doing at the end of your life, right? And then we have the 5 W's: what, when, why, and with whom. So we are going to end by saying thank you. And we have a final video that we'd like to share with you. And that's how we're going to send you out.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of the week and blessings to all of you. So we have our final closing video, and thanks for hanging in there for the extra 15 minutes.
Your gift is very simple to know. You don't have to go anywhere to discover it. It's not in the water. It's not on a mountaintop. It ain't hid under a rock. Now, this is how you know you're not living in your gift. If when the alarm clock goes off in the morning and you ain't happy about it, you ain't doing what you want to do. If your job makes you sick to go to, if you're unhappy with waking up to go to where you got to go, it's because you ain't living in your gift. What burns in your heart is important for you to pay attention to because it never goes away. That's why people wake up in a rut. See, you hate waking up because you waking up and you don't know the reason. You waking up and you don't have no design in mind. Once you live in your purpose, when you discover your gift, you can't wait to wake up. Please understand, pay very close attention to the thing that makes you happy. All of you are gifted at something. The problem is, you keep wanting your gift to be what somebody else's gift is. Identify your own gift because you already have it. Here's the way you identify your gift. Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. If you fry chicken better than everybody you know, you ought to be somewhere frying chicken. People make millions of dollars frying chicken. Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, El Pollo Loco. All they doing is making chicken. They just found a way to do it. Somebody just started making chicken. You know the story of Marie Callender's? Do you know what this woman did, man? She worked for a diner, a greasy spoon diner that was going out of business. It was her only job. She was a single mother. It was her only job. She needed that job, but the diner was gonna close. So she went to the owner of the diner and said, let me bake one of my pies. People like my pies, and see if I can help you make a little money. He said, whatever, bring it in. She bought one pie in. They sold every slice. The next day, the people came in and asked for the pie. She had to go home and make another pie. The next day, so many people asked for the pie, she had to make 4 pies. Then people started saying, can I buy my own pie? She made so many pies at this store that she eventually saved her money and put a commercial oven in her house. Now, she done made so many pies, the dude's shop, he ain't selling hamburgers no more. All he's selling is them damn pies. That's how Marie Callender got started. Marie Callender now has over 120 restaurants. You can't go to no frozen food section without seeing Marie Callender in there. You know what she started with? A pie. One pie. Your gift will make room for you. Now, what is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Quit running away from the gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. Maybe you here because you need to hear this here. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dreams. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your gift so you can quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do. Some people are born to be teachers, caregivers, nurses, babysitters. Those are gifts, you know what I mean? If you're living in your gift, you're cool. It's just if you ain't. You do anything else, when that alarm clock go off in the morning, you ain't gonna like it. I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do. You should look into that before you mess around and check out of here.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. Blessings and have a great night. Thank you, Lynn.